It looks solid from the outside. Shiny skylines, stable currencies, powerful passports. The kind of countries everyone calls rich. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Many of these countries are running on empty, not emotionally, financially, right now. Most people think countries go broke the same way people do. They spend too much, they earn too little, eventually they hit zero. That's not how it works. Countries don't collapse when the money runs out. They collapse when confidence does. And right now, that confidence is thinner than it looks. This matters more than ever because the global economy isn't really recovering. It's stretching, quietly, unevenly, and rich countries are stretching the most. Let's rewind for a moment. After World War II, a new idea took hold. Governments realized they could borrow huge amounts of money, grow faster, and deal with the bill later. And it worked. Roads were built, industries expanded, middle classes exploded. Debt wasn't a problem. It was a tool. As long as economies grew faster than the debt, everything looked fine. And for decades, it was. But here's where the story turns. Growth slowed. Populations aged. Productivity weakened. Fewer workers entered the system. More retirees depended on it. More promises made decades ago still needed to be paid today. Healthcare, pensions, social security, defense, interest. A lot of interest. So governments did what felt logical. They borrowed more. Not for luxury, but because stopping felt impossible. Today, many so-called rich countries owe more than they produce in an entire year. Read that again. More debt than annual income. That's not a theory. That's math. And here's the part most people miss. Governments don't pay off debt the way households do. They roll it over. Old debt gets paid with new debt. Bonds expire. New bonds are issued. It's like refinancing your credit card. Forever. As long as interest rates stay low, this game works. When rates rise, the math turns hostile. Imagine owing trillions of dollars. Now imagine interest rates move up by just 1%. That single percent can mean hundreds of billions more in payments every year. Money that produces nothing. No roads, no schools, no innovation, just interest. This is why rate hikes terrify governments. Not because of politics, because of arithmetic. And here's the irony. Rich countries are considered safe, so they borrow cheaply. Because they borrow cheaply, they borrow more. Because they borrow more, the system becomes fragile. Safety creates risk. Now let's talk about the illusion. GDP numbers still look big. Stock markets still rise. Headlines still say strong economy. But underneath, the engine is running hotter and hotter just to stay in the same place. Productivity growth is weak. Real wages lag behind rising costs. Governments quietly rely on inflation to reduce the real value of their debt. Inflation isn't just a price problem. It's a debt strategy. When prices rise, debt becomes easier to pay in real terms. That helps governments. It doesn't help savers. So while people feel poorer at the grocery store, balance sheets in government offices quietly breathe a little easier. That's not a conspiracy. It's how the system is designed to survive. But survival has a cost. Every year, more of the budget goes to interest. Less goes towards future growth. That means fewer buffers for the next crisis. And there will be a next crisis. Recessions aren't rare events. They're built into the system. Now zoom out. Rich countries don't just owe money to themselves. They owe it to pension funds, insurance companies, foreign governments, central banks. Everything is connected. If one major economy stumbles, it doesn't fall alone. Confidence spreads, or it disappears. Currencies weaken, borrowing costs rise. Markets panic first, voters panic later. This is why leaders sound calm, even when the numbers look alarming, because panic itself can become the trigger, so they keep the tone optimistic. Strong fundamentals, temporary shocks, soft landings, and sometimes that optimism works. Until it doesn't, because here's the uncomfortable truth. Many rich countries aren't broke yet, but they are highly leveraged, exposed, sensitive to small changes. They don't need a collapse to feel poor. They just need stagnation. Years of slow growth, rising costs, high debt, limited options. No explosion, no dramatic failure, just a long squeeze. And that's harder to notice and harder to fix. So when someone says a country is rich, the real question isn't how much it owns. It's how much it owes, and how long the world keeps believing it can pay. Because when belief fades, the math doesn't argue. It just collects. So the real question isn't whether rich countries can go broke. It's whether the system breaks first. And if it does, who pays the price?